I guess the one thing I will respect is that they do force turnovers. I don't know if that's part of their opponents, but they are, forcing some turnovers, and they also haven't had Jamal Adams. That's a big question mark coming in. Like, is he going to play? I think that'll help them significantly. But even then, like if they have Jamal Adams, I'm still confident that they can get the run game going with Hasty, and then play action, just live off the play action. And
Yeah. I mean, we saw it this Monday against the Cardinals. Like you had a 10-point lead. Like I thought that was game over. Honestly, like I was like, when they're up, I'm like, dude, that's game over. And then somehow because they can't, like you said, they create turnovers, but then they can't. They couldn't hold the Cardinals at all. It was just kind of. I mean, the Cardinals weren't doing anything fancy either.
they
That was the
weren't
thing. I was kind of. I
the
won't say frustrating, but like they're not doing anything fancy. Like this is basic and you can't stop it. They just couldn't, and they couldn't even breathe on Kyler. Like I mean, like he had all the time in the world. That was insane.
he could sit there and have lunch.
Yeah, it was. And they give that kind of time to Jimmy.
Well, just imagine George Kittle, just went up against Stephon Gilmore, beat him in a route, like, right?
Yeah.
And so who's going to cover if Jamal Adams isn't there? Who's going to cover Kittle? Who's going to cover, Ayuk? So if you have time in the pocket, guys are going to eventually get open. And that's one area. I guess the Niners and the Seahawks do have something in common. They don't really apply a lot of pressure to quarterbacks. Like the Niners, I think, are way better. They do apply some pressure. They're just not getting sacks.
Yeah, they can get to the quarterback, but they just can't finish. Well, the Seahawks just, I mean, they can't even get in the same zip code. It is, I mean, they picked up who they yesterday, Carlos Dunlap, right?
Yeah, Carlos Dunlap.
I think you texted me about that. That was the guy I was kind of hoping the Niners, and like I don't know what the cap situation is, so it may have just been a numbers game. But that was a guy I know he wanted out, and that was a guy I was looking like, edge rusher. You bring him in for the rest of the season, like that could be a nice, like if you're like, yo, you're just our go get the quarterback guy. Could have been nice, kind of a speedier guy. I mean, there's not too many guys out there left now. I mean, Griffin got traded. I mean, they're really outside of, we talked about Clay last week. He's kind of it as far as I can kind of think of off the top of my head of edge rushers or speed rushers that are left. So I'm kind of curious, and Lynch hasn't really spoken on it. So I am kind of curious what calls have been made on that, because that's maybe the last piece as far as a run goes for this team. That may be that last piece. Like if you can get someone who can just go get the quarterback, that may be all you need. If assuming health for everybody else. And we talked, I think earlier today, if the Niners can make it to that bye week 5-5, and then come out of the bye healthy, everybody's back. Everybody who can be back is back. They can make a run. The MC's completely wide open. Home field isn't going to mean much in the playoffs if there's no fans. This team is kind of set for that, but the edge rushers where that one little, that's the guy. That's the one position I look at and say, we need that's where we need to shore it up.
Yeah, that's kind of where we look at Nick Bosa going down, just like, man, what could have been is like we could have just, who knows how the other games play out, right?
Oh yeah.
And Philly. So yeah, Philly. I mean, they should have won that game. That's the most frustrating one, right? The Philly one, because Miami just whooped us.
Yeah, that was just a beatdown. Yeah, but
the Philly one is the one that hurts.
Yeah, especially record wise, like they're 4-3, but it's like, man, you could be 5-2. That's kind of a driver's seat kind of position. You're going against Seattle. You have a chance, like that puts them in a much better kind of just position. You have a little more margin for error, and you just think like, yeah, Bosa, like what a different, just a really good, in your edge rusher, like a good edge rusher. man, what a difference, especially with the defense playing behind, playing at such a high level. I mean, from just a coverage perspective, Verrett's playing out of his mind. Verrett's playing like he did when he was a Pro Bowler. Mosley's playing amazing. Like, I wasn't sure that he would be able to carry that over from last season. And I think he's even better this season. You know, like I said, I forgot Sherman was even injured just because they've been playing so well in his absence.
Yeah.
And man, like as an edge rusher, like a good one, like, man, like this has got to be a preferred destination because, you know, behind you, they're going to buy you time, right? Because the coverage is going to be so good. You're going to have an extra half second to get to the quarterback or extra second. Like you can feast if you want to. So it is, like I said, just that one position. I feel like I don't know who's available, but I don't know. Maybe you see if they win this week, maybe they make that big trade. You know, I know Pettis was on the block. I don't know if he still is now that Debo went down. I wonder if he'll suit up this week. Maybe.
Yeah.
He may have to.
Right.